in the gilded halls of Iridia, where every noble lady vied for the attention of Prince Alaric, Alara was but a shadow. She wasn't a lady of high birth, merely the overlooked ward of a distant, indifferent uncle. Her gowns were simple, her hair unadorned, and her presence was as quiet as a whisper in a storm. She spent her days in the vast royal library, her nose buried in books, finding solace in tales of heroism and forgotten magic. To the glittering court, she was utterly invisible. Prince Alaric, on the other hand, was the sun around which Viridia revolved, handsome, charming, an heir to the throne. He was weary of the simpering smiles and calculated flattery that followed him everywhere. He longed for something real, a connection that wasn't tied to his title. He often saw the same young woman in the library, a quiet figure always lost in a book. She never looked up, never tried to catch his eye. She was just there, a silent fixture in his gilded cage. One afternoon, a grand procession was announced. The prince would ride through the city square, a display of royal strength and grace. The court ladies prepared for days, preening and planning, each hoping for a single glance from Alaric. Alara had no such ambitions. She merely wanted to see the spectacle, to feel the energy of the crowd. She found a spot near the back, partially hidden by a stone fountain, content to be an anonymous observer as Prince Alaric rode by on his magnificent white stallion. The crowd roared. He smiled, waved, a practiced gesture he'd performed 1,000 times. His eyes swept over the sea of adoring faces. And then, for a fleeting moment, they landed on Alara. It was nothing, really. A passing glance, but something about her stillness, her lack of clamor amidst the chaos, registered. He saw a quiet depth in her eyes that was different from the grasping ambition he saw in everyone else. He turned his head forward, continuing the procession, but the image of the girl by the fountain lingered. It was a puzzle. Who was she? This island of calm in a sea of noise. A few paces later, compelled by a force he didn't understand, he did something he had never done before. He slowed his horse and looked back. A second time, their eyes met again, this time for a fraction longer. A jolt, like lightning, passed between them. In that moment, Alara was no longer invisible. She was seen, truly seen. A blush crept up her neck, and she quickly looked away, her heart hammering against her ribs. The prince's second glance did not go unnoticed. The court buzzed with whispers. Who was the plain girl who had captured the prince's attention, not once, but twice? Suddenly, Alara was thrust into the spotlight she had so carefully avoided. The same ladies who had ignored her for years now eyed her with a mixture of curiosity and contempt. What did she have that they didn't? The next day, Alaric sought her out. He didn't send a page or a formal invitation. He walked into the library himself. The silence was broken only by the soft rustle of turning pages. He found her in her usual corner. "I saw you yesterday," he said, his voice softer than she'd imagined. Alara looked up, startled. "You looked peaceful," he added. He didn't ask her name or her lineage. He asked about the book she was reading, and so began their secret conversations. They spoke of history, of philosophy, of worlds beyond their own. Alaric discovered a mind as sharp and brilliant as any scholar's, and a heart full of passion and kindness. Alara discovered a man who was thoughtful and burdened, a prince who dreamed of being just a man. He wasn't the fairy tale prince of her books. He was better. He was real. He saw her not as a ward or a wallflower, but as Alara. Their connection deepened with each clandestine meeting. He found excuses to visit the library. She found herself looking up from her books, hoping to see him. The court gossip grew more vicious. They couldn't understand it. Alara had no title, no wealth, no dazzling beauty by their standards. To them, she was still the invisible girl. But to the prince, she was the only person he could see. One evening, during the annual Starlight Bowl, Alaric made his move. Every eligible maiden was in attendance, dressed in their most extravagant gowns. Alara was there, too, in a simple but elegant dress of deep blue, a gift from a sympathetic servant. She stood near the terrace, watching the dancers, feeling like an outsider once more. Then the music stopped. Prince Alaric strode through the parted crowd, his eyes fixed on only one person. He bypassed duchesses and countesses, ignoring their outstretched hands. He walked directly to Alara. The entire hall held its breath. He bowed before her. "May I have this dance?" he asked, his voice clear and unwavering for all to hear. Stunned, Alara could only nod. As he led her to the center of the floor, a collective gasp rippled through the room. When they danced, it was as if they were the only two people in existence. They moved in perfect harmony, lost in each other's eyes. The whispers of the court faded into nothingness. In that moment, everyone saw what Alaric had seen all along. They saw her brilliance, her grace, her quiet strength. He had looked back twice. The first time was out of curiosity. The second time was destiny. It was the moment an invisible girl became the center of a prince's world. Their love story wasn't about a prince saving a damsel, but about two souls finding each other in a world of illusion. It proves that true worth isn't found in titles or gowns, but in the quiet courage of being yourself. And sometimes, all it takes is a second glance to change a life forever. Thank you for watching this story from Noble Hearts. If you were moved by Alara and Alaric's journey, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales of love and courage. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.